Here's something that will make you stop and think. Majority will go along with a crowd they know is wrong, not because they are stupid, not because they are less capable to think, but because the human brain is wired in a way that makes feel safer than being right. In one of the most popular Asch Conformity psychology experiments conducted, 75% of the participants gave an answer they knew was wrong, just because the people around them said it first. Let's go with the real examples. You have been there. That moment in a group meeting, a classroom, or in a home discussion, when everyone agrees and something inside you says, "Wait, that doesn't feel right." But you go along anyway. That feeling has a name: social conformity. Psychologists call it herd mentality, the tendency to adopt the perception, behaviors, and emotions of the majority around us, even when we privately disagree. And it is not a flaw in broken people. It is a feature of every human brain ever born. When we follow the crowd blindly, we stop thinking. And that is how individuals and organizations make terrible decisions they regret, and how entire societies go in directions nobody individually actually wanted. Today I am going to tell you in this video how exactly the human brain does this, where you see it happening daily in your life, and most importantly, how to break free from it. So watch the video till to end and hit subscribe button right now, so let's hunt into it. First, we should know that why it happens, why we follow the wrong crowd. Number one reason is, as your brain is not broken and is wired in such a way your brain seeks approval. The same ancient instinct that made you crave acceptance from your group now makes whether you're with your actual community or reading comments online. Reason number two, your brain conserves energy by taking shortcuts, and one of the easiest is assuming the crowd knows something you don't. So instead of thinking for yourself, you follow along, a pattern psychologists call informational social influence. Reason number three, one of the most popular studies of brain imaging explains that your brain treats social rejection like actual physical pain. So when you go against the group, your body literally sends out pain signals to make you stop. So you conform to make it hurt less, a compelling reason to just go along with everyone else. When these three beliefs combine inside a community, the need to belong, the mental shortcut of following, and the fear of rejection, this is called groupthink, where most of the individuals make worse decisions because nobody wants to hear, "Wait, this is wrong." According to the study, one of the most shocking parts is that most people in conforming groups privately disagree. They are all following each other towards something none of them believe in. Psychologists call this pluralistic ignorance, and it is happening daily in our lives. If this is already making you think of moments in your own life, drop a comment below with one word that describes how conformity has shown up for you. We talk about this kind of real psychology in our coming videos. Social media is the world's largest conformity platform. When any content gets thousands of likes and millions of views, your brain interprets it as social proof and validates that idea, product, or opinion is correct. In workplaces, groupthink kills good ideas every single day. We're one employee who spots a flaw in the plan but doesn't speak because everyone seems confident. The team that approves a bad product because nobody wants to slow down the momentum. Sound familiar? Even in our closest friendships, conformity creeps in. Laughing at a joke you don't find funny. Agreeing with an opinion you privately dislike. Going somewhere you didn't want to go. This is how we slowly lose pieces of ourselves to the groups we belong to. Even in consumers' behavior, terms like bestseller, most popular. Join 2 million customers. These labels don't tell you the product is good. They tell your brain that the crowd has already approved it, which trap the logic. Perhaps the most dangerous place conformity shows up is in our beliefs. We adopt the political views, the religious attitudes, the social opinions of the groups we grow up in or want to belong to, often without ever questioning whether those views are actually our own. One of the most heartbreaking results of herd mentality. When lots of people witness someone in trouble, nobody helps because everyone thinks someone else will. The bigger the crowd, the easier it is to stay frozen and do nothing. We hide behind the group instead of being brave enough to act. The first cost of always following the crowd is simple. You lose your voice. When you constantly silence your own opinion to match the group, you stop knowing what you actually think. And the longer it continues, the harder it gets to hear your own mind. So when we outsource our decisions to the crowd, we make systematically worse choices. Not occasionally, consistently. Because the crowd is often driven by emotion, momentum, and social pressure. not by careful thinking. Following them means following all of their blind spots, too. When you spend years molding yourself to fit in wherever you go, you end up wearing an identity that isn't really yours, just bits and pieces of what everyone else wanted you to be. And honestly, that's one of the quietest ways people disappear from themselves. Studies consistently link high levels of social conformity with increased anxiety, lower self-esteem, and reduced life satisfaction. When you build your identity around fitting in, your emotional security becomes entirely dependent on the group's approval. And groups are unstable. That is an exhausting way to live. The deepest cost of following the crowd when you know it's wrong is the inner guilt and regret it leaves behind. I knew. I saw it, and then I stayed quiet. That kind of regret accumulates quietly and can shape how you see yourself for years. But here's where the story changes. Because awareness of herd mentality, really understanding why your brain pulls toward the crowd, is the exact moment the pull becomes a choice instead of an automatic reflex. And choices can be changed. Step 1 to breaking free from herd mentality. Pause before you conform. Before you nod, before you agree, before you go along, give yourself 3 seconds. Just 3. Ask, am I agreeing because I believe this or because everyone else does? Step 2, learn to tolerate the discomfort of being different. Remember, that discomfort you feel when you disagree with a group is ancient survival wiring, not a sign you're wrong. Being able to sit with that feeling without flinching is one of the most important psychological skills you can build. Step 3, form your own view before exposing yourself to the group's view. Before you read the comments, before you ask what everyone thinks, write down or think through your own position first. This one habit alone dramatically reduces the grip of social conformity. Step 4, find people who think differently from each other, not a new crowd to conform to. The goal isn't to leave one herd and join another. It is to find genuine community, where different views are welcomed, disagreement is safe, and independent thought is encouraged. Here's what I want you to take with you today. Every single person in history who changed something in science, in art, in culture, in justice, did it by thinking differently from the crowd around them. You cannot change anything by being a copy of what already exists. Now you know why the crowd pulls so hard and exactly how to decide for yourself when to follow and when to walk your own path. If this video made you think, share it with one person who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more real psychology every week, and I will see you in the next one.